Hello and good morning. This is the second video deliverable for Team moneyPot, and we'd like to provide you with an update on our final project. First, let's begin from the high-level perspective. So, in our first video, we discussed that our project was centered around taking data related to the tax revenues generated by the sales of legal marijuana and legal marijuana-based products in states that have already legalized marijuana, taking that data, putting it in a user-friendly environment, and allowing users to view that data for where they live, and then have the opportunity to tell people in charge where they live what they actually want to see that revenue used for. With respect to updates, we've kind of decided that marijuana specifically wasn't going to be a good way to implement our ideas. We felt that marijuana ended up being more restrictive because not as many states have legalized it already. And from a data availability perspective, there isn't very much data out there. There isn't any data that precedes 2010. And we felt that we'd have an easier time in an area that has more easily available numbers. So with that said, we went out and we found a data set created by the US Census Bureau that is a listing of the state government tax revenues for every state in the nation from 1951 to 2014. And we're only planning on taking a small, more recent segment of that, probably from the early to mid-90s up through the end of the data set. But on top of it being from all 50 states, and they gave a summation of the tax revenue from all 50 states, they divide the tax revenues for all 50 states into about 20 different sub-areas. So we'll have a lot of flexibility with respect to what data we can put out, what data we feel is really compelling that people should know for this project, and with more variety over time, depending on how much we get done over the next 2 weeks, we could end up deciding, okay, let's put all 20 areas out there. And if we're not as successful, we'll say, all right, let's pare this down and only choose 3 or 4, depending on how far along the project is. In any case, this data set provides us a lot of flexibility, and we think it'll help further the goal of the project, which at the end of the day is to educate people. The goal is to create a platform that allows people to take data that is directly from the government or other really credible sources, view it in a very user-friendly interface, and then be able to comment to those in charge about what they want to see done with that data. And just giving people the opportunity to have as educated a voice as possible. So with all of that said, I'd now like to turn it over to Josh to discuss updates on the technological front.
Hi everyone, Josh here. So the first thing we needed to do was to get a database. So to do this, we used a free distribution of MongoDB, and as you can see here, managed to actually create one. And then we had to sanitize our data a little bit, and we were able to get it up there looking at least a little bit neat. Then we went through the regular npm init kind of procedure, and after that, proceeded to get Express so that we could get our database and website to at least pretend to like each other. And as you can see, we were able to get Express to at least pretend to work. After that, we had to worry about how we were going to represent our data. We chose to use Charts.js, an open source JavaScript library that specializes in representing different types of data. So this was perfect for us, and so we grabbed some of the code from their website, reformatted it to our purposes, and through the magic of computers, we were able to generate a pie chart. Yes, our creativity astounds even myself. But after we got this, we had to go looking at our information again. So as you can see, our data is, looking not too bad, but rather like an undergrad just coming off an all-nighter, it's still a little bit scruffy and could use a bit of cleaning up. So you'll notice specifically that the numbers are all strings and have commas in them, which is kind of a problem if you want to do any type of JavaScript calculations with them. So seeing this, we can see that we have a lot of work cut out for us to get our pie chart and to get that code actually doing something and not just holding filler data. So our challenge now is to get Express, MongoDB, and charts all working together with our data to create something that will actually be functional. This has been a production of Team moneyPot.